Hey guys, welcome to another Fisher Builds. Today I'm going to cover the Rocketeer. I started off creating a helmet for myself, just a movie prop I could put on a shelf, but after seeing this and showing my daughter a few clips, she decided she wanted a full costume to cosplay at our local Comic-Con. When I made this, this actually coincided last year with the animated TV series that actually starred a young girl as the new Rocketeer. So she was very excited about that. I did use 3D printing and some Arduino electronics, and I'll take it apart and I'll show you guys how I did it, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I actually got this model off of Thingiverse, and I'll post a link in the description. I printed it on a Creality CR10S in one piece. The whole shell was printed in one piece, and then this fin was a second piece. So that was printed all in one with no supports, with domed shapes. I've actually found that if you just put a nice brim around the bottom, everything touching the surface of the hotbed, of the printer bed, you could actually print without supports for helmets, saving a lot on material and time. Overall, this is about a 20-hour print. I just wanted some fine detail, a little bit of post work. I sprayed it with several layers of filler primer and then was able to prime it and paint it. The coloring was a flat or a matte black spray paint, and then the bronze gold color was antique gold rub and buff. The eyes and the mouth, this black obscuring mesh, it's actually yarn mesh, just from local, I think it was from Hobby Lobby. And I've used that before on a Power Ranger visor. It's dark, it obscures, but it's also very breathable, very safe for kids, and you can hear and see very fine out of it. The inside, I created my own liner just to look like the movie. It's not exactly the same, but I found a quilted material, I believe at Joann Fabrics, and was able to just sew it into a nice Y shape. And then these leather strips, I just added a little button and glued these to the back of the liner. So if we're sweating and it does get hot at cons and just walking around, I could take out this liner, throw it in the wash, and it's fine. For the jacket, it's a old school, 1930s motorcycle jacket that he wears. After a little searching on Amazon, I did find this jacket for kids that has a very similar cross chest flap, just like the Rocketeer. It has the same bronze buttons, love that. Couple zippers, and it just has some nice quilting and details. It looked cool, and I didn't have to go exact for a cosplay for a 6-year-old, but this worked great. The coloring was fine. So this is just a stock jacket. It was about $20 on Amazon, and I'll post a link in the description. Now for the actual pack, this is a lot of fun. The housing of the rockets were 3D printed, and then I just did some custom leather work to create this little backpack with a couple harnesses similar to the one in the movie, with real metal buckles. And then to connect and disconnect the pack from the leather, it comes with a plate that you can connect through the leather to the pack so you can mount it. And these are just easy snaps. And then this is just padding. Inside I have 2mm EVA foam making up these pipes, kind of like a car where it has that ribbed pad. And then the model that came with it, these fins were very, very flimsy, and they kept snapping off at these points anytime you'd move them, so I modeled these up in Fusion 360. Just a little beefier, but very similar profile. That turned out really well. And the rockets are actually raw ABS black plastic, and then I added USB braided cable to act like brake lines, and then just some clear silicone tube filled with wood stain. I just dipped them in to create a used up kind of fuel line. And then the lights inside are 16 light NeoPixel rings They actually fit perfectly inside. They're 2-inch. This was printed at 45% scale, and everything fits together. These 3 pieces are separate. This and this housing, this kind of manifold in the middle, are 2 separate pieces, and then these are separate, and then the rockets each are their own piece. Those are all just fitted together. This houses the batteries, this houses the electronics and control boards, and then to access it to change batteries, added in magnet closures. So you just get those aligned and it grabs it. To turn it on, because if you run an Arduino on a battery and you leave the battery on, it'll keep cycling through the program and eventually it'll burn out the battery. So you have to add an actual power switch, which is kind of hidden under here. Have a sound indicating that the power is on. And then a 2-stage button control. The main button will initiate the normal movie feature. The second button will make the rockets go blue. Won't change the sound, but it just acts like an afterburner effect. The blue effects last a couple seconds. Release just like the movie. It does the wind down and the stop. My kids love this. It's just they can turn it on and do a remix. So that's another Fisher Builds. Hope you guys enjoy the mini Rocketeer. If you'll excuse me, I got some Nazis that need fighting. See you next time.